Hey, how's everyone doing today? This is Oz with Oz Mechanics, and today we're going to be talking about oxygen sensors. So I'm going to show you how to check them out, how to take them off, and then how to verify the fix on today's video. Alright, so these are going to be the codes that we have stored onto our computer. We have first engine code P0153, that's oxygen slow response bank 2 sensor 1. And then we're going to have heated oxygen sensor bank 2 sensor 1 switch point indicated lean. So these are the two codes. As you can see, we have one that says bank 2 sensor 1. So bank 2, what it's going to be, because this is a V6, we're going to have two different banks. So bank 1 is going to be on the side where cylinder number 1 is going to be at, and then bank 2 is going to be on the opposite side. If we have a 4-cylinder, we're only going to have one bank. So we have bank 1 and bank 2, and then we have sensor 1 and sensor 2. Sensor 1 is going to be the sensor before the catalytic converter, and then sensor 2 is going to be the one after the catalytic converter. So right here, what we're going to look for, because it's bank 2 sensor 1, we're going to check on the side that's not where cylinder number 1's at, and we're going to look at the oxygen sensor before the catalytic converter. So it's bank 2 sensor 1. So I'm going to show you on the scan tool how it looks with oxygen sensor that's not responding well. We're going to correlate it to bank 1, and we're going to look at a known good one. Alright, so now what I want to show you is how the oxygen sensor actually looks. A good one and a bad one. So we're going to look at the data. Make sure our vehicle's turned on. Remember, we're going to look at bank 2 sensor 1. We're going to look at that data, and then after that we're going to look at a good data form. Or good waveform, actually. So as you can see, here's bank 1 sensor 1, and we got bank 2 sensor 1. So right now we're getting feed off of the bank 1 sensor 1, but we're not getting any movement right here at bank 2 sensor 1. So let's go straight to a good oxygen sensor reading. Like I always try to tell my customers, imagine going to the hospital and seeing your vitals. This is what the oxygen sensor is doing. It's basically going up and down. It's like vitals. But when you have a cold oxygen sensor, you're going to have scrappiness like that. But what you want to see is that it's going up and down, up and down. If you get an oxygen sensor that's full high, that's going to closer to the 1 volt range, we're going to have something that's rich. If you got something closer to the 0 range, that's when you got something lean. So now let's look at the bad oxygen sensor. It's basically flatline, but at 0.031. So let's see if we try to rev up the RPM. Can we get it to act up, or to jump up? And as you can see, it jumped all the way up to almost 1 volt, and then it got stuck rich. So basically, this oxygen sensor is not responding right anymore. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna switch it out, and then we're gonna retest it again. So remember, the bad one is gonna be oxygen sensor bank 2 sensor 1. Alright, so we're ready to go down there, and what we're going to need our brand new oxygen sensor, and then we have our 3 tools right here that we can use. We can use a wrench, and most oxygen sensors are going to be 7/8, and then we have our 2 tools right here. These are specialty tools, and we have this long one that has an opening so it can fit around the oxygen sensor, and then we have this shorter one right here that goes around the oxygen sensor wire to fit there, and then it goes on there. So we have our grease that we can put on here, and that's gonna go on the threads of the oxygen sensor. So right now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down there. Like I said, this is gonna be on the passenger side, so we're gonna go on, or driver's side, and we're gonna go underneath. I'm gonna show you where the oxygen sensor is at. It has to be upstream, so it's going to be in front of the catalytic converter. We're going to take it off and then put our brand new one on there and then retest it. Alright, so we're underneath the vehicle. This is going to be the driver's side. As we can see up there, that's the catalytic, that's the oxygen sensor, I'm sorry. If you go down the pipe, you're going to start seeing the catalytic converters right there. You got 1 and 2, and then you got your other oxygen sensor over here, and that's going to be the downstream one. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back over here. We're going to see where our oxygen sensor's at, and we're going to get the appropriate tool. So I'm probably going to use a wrench because it has a little bit more length to it, and we can probably get to it a lot faster. First thing to do, we have to disconnect it, because if we have the oxygen sensor connected, it's just gonna get kind of raveled up right there. So we're gonna disconnect this first, and the connector should be somewhere up here. Better look right there, and there you go. We disconnected the connector from the top side, and so now we're gonna disconnect it from and screw it off. And I'm gonna leave this connector up here, so when we put it back together, it's gonna be an easy connection. What we're gonna do, we're gonna loosen it up with the wrench. Alright, it's cracked open. Alright, and there you go. We got our old oxygen sensor off. Now we're going to put a brand new one on there. So what I would highly recommend you is get started with your hand, and then after that we're going to tighten this up. You don't have to hold tight it. Just get it on there nice and snug. And there you go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to feed this wire up there, and then we're going to plug it in from the top side because there's no space down here. Alright, we're going to connect our connectors. So this is the one that's going to the vehicle, and then we got to find the one underneath here from the new oxygen sensor, and we see it right here. There you go. We got that connected. Next on the list, we're gonna go inside and we're gonna look on our scan tool and we're gonna verify that we got the fix. All right, now that we have both oxygen sensors put on, we're just gonna see if the one that we put on is working good. Alright, so as you can see, we got better looking oscillations right here, going up and down, up and down, up and down. I know it looks scratchy, but it just depends on the scan tool as well. Even if we hook up our oscilloscope, we're probably gonna have better readings right here. So there you go. This is gonna be our fix right here. Back then it would be just stuck lean or stuck rich, and right now we're doing a stoichiometric right here. So we're going up and down, we're oscillating. So there you go. If you do like this video, please thumbs up, subscribe, and share. We're gonna give it a little test drive before I do put this video online, just to verify that we do have this fixed 100%. So y'all take care here from Oz Mechanics.